Another brick fan with a Brickheadz set. This is Belle, Bottom, Bob, and Kevin. This is set 40421, was released in April 2021, has 309 pieces, cost about $20 when it was released. This is a Brickheadz 3-pack, and as you can see, it contains brick numbers 107, 108, and 109. Let's go ahead and get these Brickheadz built, and then we'll take a look at the finished Brickheadz. Here are the three finished Brickheadz, and as you see, we have Bob. In the center here is Belle, Bottom. And on the right-hand side is Kevin. Let's go ahead and take a look at Belle, Bottom first, and then we'll take a look at the Minions. Belle, Bottom looks like a 70s disco-style person. She has got this really big hair that's all built up, which looks really good when it's all put together. I like the bright colors, this pink and purple with a lavender shirt underneath it. If you look around her legs there, they are definitely set up as bell bottoms. You can see them flaring out there around her legs. So I thought that was a really good touch. She's wearing that chain belt, it looks like. Hair is really built up here in the front and shaped really nicely as well. Looking around the side here, you see that she does have this gold earring here, or this ring piece that has been around for a while, but I think they used it really effectively as an earring. The hair is textured a lot with a lot of exposed studs and even a couple of jumpers here, jumper plates. And as you can see, the back is pretty similar, but it does look like she's wearing, I don't know if this is a big coat or something that just flares along the bottom, but it certainly looks good with some of these exposed studs here in the back. Then of course on the other side, you'll see the hair is kind of built up the same way. You can just barely see her ear peeking out down here, and then the gold earring right here. Hands of course are done with just that regular 1x2 with a clip, just like you see typically with a lot of Brickheadz. And like many of the female Brickheadz, the hair is really the big distinguishing factor for her. I mean, just look how large it is, and it's really well rounded. They used a lot of plates here to really give this an awful lot of texture and quite a few angles, which make it look really good. So I'm very impressed with the hair build for Belle, Bottom here. Let's take a look at Bob. So here we have Bob. Bob is a shorter minion. He's a 3x3 build here, as you see, and he's wearing this yellow karate uniform like we saw in the Minions Kung Fu Battle set. And if you compare him to his minifigure, you can see that it looks pretty good. There's obviously no hair for Bob here. They are using colored eyes on the minifig, which I think would have been nice to have colored eyes here, but they just went with the black and white standard eyes that they've used for all of these Brickheadz in this Minions type Brickheadz. I do appreciate how they did the 2x2 tile followed by a 2x2 rounded plate, which gives it that thickness that you would expect from him wearing goggles. You see how it's way away from his face, so those eyes are of course magnified in there. The eye area here is actually just about the same size as the 1x1 rounded tile that is usually used for Brickhead eyes, but it's magnified just a little bit because it is in these goggles. There's a little bit of printing here for the karate uniform. Looking on the side, there is a stripe here on the sleeve of the karate uniform, so I thought that was a good addition. The hands actually do have a clip piece down there, so they're on an angle. You may have noticed that during the build. Alternating yellow and black with the orange on around the bottom for the karate uniform. Overall, a nice representation of Bob. Let's take a look at Kevin. Here is Kevin, and he comes with a pair of nunchucks. Of course, he's got this signature large hair piece, in this case represented by kind of a plant piece. I like how they use the chain here and the post pieces there to represent the nunchucks. Here is the minifigure for Kevin that came with the Minions Kung Fu battle, and you see he's in that same Kung Fu uniform with the stripes on the sleeves and the legs. This has the stripes on the sleeves but no stripe on the legs. But I think it looks pretty similar. It's interesting they used a different hair piece, or a different plant piece really in this case, for the hair for the minifigure versus the hair for the Brickhead, but I still think it turned out really nicely. Looking around Kevin, you see that the build is done pretty well. The hands are placed forward so that he can hold the nunchucks instead of down like they are with some of the others. He is taller. You can see that he's about 6 bricks high here. So a very tall minion. And you can see the alternating yellow and black here. So we have the black for the band for his goggles there. Back is pretty plain, and the sides are plain as well. And then they have the striped sleeve that comes forward so he can hold the nunchucks. So once again, a very nice build for a minion. Now that we've looked at all 3 of the Brickheadz in detail, let's take a look at all of them together again. So here we have all 3 of them with Bob on the left, Belle bottom in the middle, and Kevin on the right. As a 3-pack, this is pretty reasonably priced at $20. This is normally the price you would see for a 2 full-size Brickhead pack. Although I think there's been some 3 Brickhead packs. One of them that comes to mind is these 3 packs have come around before. Obviously, there's another Minions 3-pack, and then there was also a 3-pack for a Christmas Brickhead set, which was Reindeer, Elf, and Elfie. So I think a $20 price point, certainly at 309 pieces, is pretty good. That puts the piece count down to around 7 cents, maybe even less than that per piece. So well below the 10 cents that I like to start with when I'm thinking about value. I do like the builds. I like the little nunchuck accessory here for Kevin. I notice he still isn't quite as tall as an actual Brickhead, although the hair makes up for quite a bit of height here on Belle bottom. Then this smaller Brickhead here for Bob. This is about the same size as, say, like Hedwig, which was another one of these sets that had the smaller, or maybe even Yoda was one also that was kind of in this size. The 3x3 Brickhead. And this is a 3x3 Brickhead, but much taller, of course. Overall, a really nice set, and certainly Brickheads look really good on display. I've been collecting Brickheads really from the start, which is about 2018 when they first started coming out with them, and I'm glad to see them continuing on building more Brickhead sets here in 2021. Hope you've enjoyed my thoughts on this Minions set. I'm going to get started on my next video. And until then, happy building. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to see more of my content. I've left a link to some of my other Minions reviews up here on the screen.